What is up, Company of Hero fans? This is your man Reckoner bringing you another Company of Hero shoutcast today. This time we're on the map of Semois and it's between two very powerful opponents. Let's give a shout out to China Must Burn, but this is actually BkModTest. And he is facing today on the other side of Semois, the US player known as Biosparks. A blast from the past. Let's get this thing started now. I apologize for the inconvenience once more. Just when I decided to make my promise on making more shoutcasts, my video editing laptop decided to die. But now it's back in working form, and I'm gonna come back once more to give you some more shoutcasts today. And this is a very large replay. One of you requested it, and it is around over 2 megabytes in size. This is an large replay size, so we might see some really epic action going on. But what's this? We got an OP coming up on the field, and it's within the first minute of the game. You don't actually see many US players do that. They typically like to get an early field presence with their rifles or their engineers on the field. And right now we're seeing 1, 2, 3, and 4 engineers on the field. So we're going for a very passive build order from Biosparks, and with an OP on the field, it's just going to delay his early field aggression if he's going to go for rifles, or even if he decides to go WSC. So we're just going to have to see. On the other hand, BkModTest is going for a rather conventional capping order. He got his tier 1 out, and he is starting to pump Volks on the field with this little pesky Volk squad doing a cap walk towards from his cutoff to his munitions cutoff onto the western side. And we're gonna see our first engineer going to probably engage this pioneer squad over here. So maybe a little workers battle going on right over here. First engagement on the left hand side, but let's take a look at what's happening elsewhere on the map. Because BK's capping order is very conventional and he relies on his favorite Volks MG sniper type of build style, he's not going to get onto the field that fast. Meanwhile, Biosparks is putting his 4 engineer start, if it is still 4 engineers, yes, his 4 engineer start to good use into basically spreading around in the map, trying to get a good scout angle up, trying to see if he can harass and even decap some crucial points, always being a thorn to BkModTest side. So we did see that Biosparks did in fact go for his barracks, which is 3 minutes into the game. That is a very late barrack start. But right after that, he's going to get a supply yard up. One advantage into getting this early OP on the field means that he's going to have a much larger fuel income. I believe it increases your income on a specific point by 80%. Now that means that the fuel is going to go from plus 10 to plus 18, which would give him which will allow him to tech much faster than BkModTest. He is in fact decapping this munitions point, but it looks like BkModTest is expecting some sort of 4 engineer spread going to happen, so he is placing a mine on that fuel point to try to even delay or even fight off any kind of harassing cap towards that large fuel point right outside of the base. He needs to be focused more on trying to inflict as much casualties onto Biosparks while at the same time maintaining a comfortable field presence. The problem with this map for Wehrmacht is that there is a lot of flanking angles, and if you get cut off on the other side of the bridge or your cutoff, it's going to be very nasty. It's going to be very hard to get back into the game. But this is usually much harder for US to get back if they're cut off from their side of Semois compared to US, because of the early tier 1 MG that Wehrmacht can build. And that would lead to the very infamous Semois pin that we know. If the MG gets a pretty good pin down onto this cutoff over here. US would have to flank all the way onto the other side just to get back onto the field, which by then would delay a lot. But what we miss? Looks like an engineer squad actually fought off and killed this pioneer squad. This is an exact that would give Biosparks his first victory. He drew first blood, and now he's upgrading to a minesweeper. It's not a bad option, but it's he probably was expecting that mine over there, but at the same time, I don't know. Yeah, I think he did. He was expecting that mine since that pioneer backed off. But the other thing that you have to know about Biosparks, as BkModTest just noted right over here, was that he didn't exactly have the cleanest history in Company of Heroes, in all of Company of Heroes history, especially on multiplayer. He was banned in the past for map hacking, and I believe that ban happened while he was in the middle of streaming. Now, whether or not he has a map hacks after the Steam version, or he's an entirely different person, just sticking to his old-fashioned aggression, that remains to be seen. But I guess this Minesweeper isn't exactly convincing BkModTest that Biosparks isn't back to his old tricks. Now that we have our first M8 on the field, let's see how BkModTest deals with this. He knows he can't fight the M8 at this time, so he is pulling back his MG and trying to avoid losing it at the same time. But it looks like Biosparks is going to chase it back into the base. Looks like the Volks have a Faust that would indicate a tier 2 was upgraded, but that Faust is it just fired. It's just a little delay since that Volks has to turn around and shoot the Faust. But he could lose the MG. If he doesn't place it down, he could lose the MG forever. This isn't CoH2 in which... Oh, he does manage to place it down. So that's... so he might be able to recover the MG while he still has time. Do you have that second Faust damaged the engine on the M8. It could see the end of the M8 right here. But it looks like he's going to get around the building before that newly built pack is going to get another shot. He's going to get a first shot off. Meanwhile, we have a sniper detected, but he's going to cloak right away as the M8 has bigger things to worry about, such as surviving. But looks like BK's not finished yet. He's probably going to shoot another Faust off. Oh, but the engineers did give it some sliver of health, which allows it to survive and tank the third Faust shot. But now BK is now just slowly creeping onto the field, hoping he could finish off that M8. But this Volks is very low on health. He could lose it. He does lose it. But the Volks shoots the last Faust and kills the M8 altogether. I don't know exactly who came out on top of there. I mean, sure, BK did lose his Volk squad, but Biosparks did lose the M8. So it might be even now. Biosparks, because of his army composition, was basically banking on the effectiveness of that M8. Doesn't really have much to follow up with it. He has 4 engineers, 1 with minesweepers, none of them with flamethrowers, I believe. And he only has 2 rifles on the field. Both of them were back at base when that happened. Maybe, yeah, I don't think he did have much to follow up with that attack. So it was basically an all-in type of gambit. Unfortunately, didn't work out as much as Biosparks hoped it would. We're looking at 380. Close to around 400 manpower banked over here. And now he has a second M8 on the field. I don't know if, and he's activating Supply Yard Upgrade 1, which is going to give him a boost in manpower, as well as faster vetting on the rifles, which I'm not sure if he can make the most of at this point because he only has 2 rifles on the field. None of them... Oh, well, this one has 4 kills, but this Gren squad is getting swamped over here. But he might lose the engineer on the retreat, but he decides to pull back before losing the squad altogether. Oh, no. And what did we miss? It looks like another... Looks like one of the engineers went down. Not too sure what happened there. But it looks like the sniper's been forced off. Rifles are taking pot shots off of it. And mate is probably going to close in, but there's a pack in position. Oh, it misses the first shot. It looks like the M8 might go into his base. Would he go into base? Oh no, he's going to circle around and he's going to try to kill that pack. A grenade went out. Did damage some rifles, but now we've got bar popped from a Biosparks. This is going to be the decisive counter onto his Grens and his pack. The pack has been decrewed, but I don't know if he has enough to man that pack. He only has 3-man, 4-man squads, very low on health. If he decides to man it, he could lose the squads altogether. Sniper is taking shots at the rifle. BK is slowly creeping back onto the field, knowing that there isn't much to the backup his attack besides those 2 rifles, which now have to be forced off the field. And mate is being a little ballsy, going back into base, probably to try to chase that sniper down. He could get a shot on the sniper. He probably should retreat that sniper. He gets a shot, but it misses. The Grens are coming back in. And it looks like, oh, he now upgraded one of his Grens to a Shrek, but it looks like the M8 is going to get away with it. With the stripe of veterancy. We got another Pioneer going down to that Minesweeper engineer over there. This engineer's been doing some work. I think it was responsible for killing 2 Pioneer squads at this point. These Grens should probably retreat back to base. It's not really a good idea picking fights with an engineer at close range in a church. Just not happening, but of course he's got reinforcements coming in. Now he's got very low man Gren squads. You probably should find a way to reinforce it. Probably a half track or something. Is he building a half track? No, at this point it doesn't seem like he's building a half track. He is floating. He is building another Gren, so he's probably trying to use Grens as now his new frontline infantry, knowing that now he has to deal with the barred up rifles as well as other things to account for. He may need to upgrade his Grens to at least Vet 1 veterancy. But he has to be careful because since looks like Biosparks has been investing heavily in tech, Vet 2 Grens could easily get countered by snipers. Let's head it back into a base. It looks like Biosparks is building something from his barracks. Not true. It's stickies. So he is anticipating rifles at this point. He is trying to anticipate for vehicles. Probably Pumas, just in case. Just in case Biosparks, BkModTest decides to go for that armored car in order to counter the rifle bars on the squad. We do have a grenade going in. Ooh, we have strafe run going in. These rifles could... Oh, the rifles do get the sniper. Now they fully retreat from the field. That was actually a pretty good engagement by Biosparks. He has now 3 rifles on the field. 2 of them are now Vet 1. And now BkModTest needs to find a way to resist any more attacks from Biosparks, especially from those powerful bar rifles, and of course the M8. So we do see a we do see a bunker going up, but based on the position, it's probably going to be a oh, it's there we go. Now he's upgrading it to a med bunker. He's trying to recoup his casualties with those medics, so he could get some free Grens out there, and hopefully be able to hold off Biosparks' relentless rifles. But now Biosparks is thinking ahead. He is thinking about, Biosparks should probably get tier 3 and tier 2, and probably snipers to counter what he believes to be BK's next progression, which should be vetted Grens, based on the fact that he is seeing a lot of Grens on the field. He has 1, 2, 3 Grens, 1 Volks, and probably the best way to take advantage of that is vetted infantry. Vet to infantry in this case. And it looks like Biosparks might try to counter that with, well, a sniper. He knows that there isn't, he knows that he killed a sniper. He probably might expect BkModTest to rebuild that sniper. But he's also considering that vetted infantry coming in. So he is preparing for that. He is trying to lead the charge in terms of teching. Ooh, these Grens could get wiped on retreat. BkModTest did activate for the fatherland, but these Grens could die. Ooh, it just manages to survive. Volk squad is getting pushed around. For the fatherland, Grens are trying to hold their position now that we have 2 flamers, 3 rifles, and an M8 on the field. Vet 2 rifles on the field. Pack is being pushed away by the flamers and bar rifles. Bars are swarming all over the place. BkModTest is trying to hold on to the field presence with his Grens, but now that For the Fatherland is out, he is now naked onto the battlefield. He did throw a Gren grenade down. It could kill a lot of infantry, but that still forces him off the field. Meanwhile, the Grens are collecting casualties, and he's just 1 model away from that free Gren. He did kill 1 medic, but oh, the medic got pushed around by that enemy model, I think that engineer model, and that automatically teleports the model into the bunker. So now we've got 4 Grens on the field. And BK might scale them up with veterancy. Oh, the final Shrek actually kills the M8, so that's an M8 down. I got a ballsy MG trying to take the trying to do a point blank suppression onto the rifle, but now he's caught in the open with 3 infantry squads trying to close in. He could lose the Vet 2. He does lose the Vet 2 rifles. Got another strafing run coming in. He does kill 2 of the Volks models and pins of Volks as well. But I think BK has this engagement in the bag. He's going back onto the field. He's got a comfortable pack position. He probably might be able to reman this abandoned pack. And at the same time, we did see him build a Campcraft Center, so he is banking on scaling. He is banking on teching to veterancy. Meanwhile, we didn't. Meanwhile, I wonder what Biosparks Sniper was up to. Oh, they actually haven't killed a squad, haven't killed a member until now, and now he has 2 of them on the field. So it looks like Biosparks now is really counting on that veterancy rolling around any time now from BkModTest, and so he's planning on using the snipers as a very to try to entrap BkModTest between a rock and a hard place. Yes, you could have vetted infantry, but that means my snipers will have a better time, or you can resist getting vetted infantry and my rifles will bludgeon your Grens to death. But since BkModTest is For the Fatherland, he might be able to hold off those he might be able to hold off those rifles with just for the fatherland while in cover. And we did see Biosparks losing another engineer squad, so that puts his total count to 2 engineers, 2 rifles, and 2 snipers. So he has a moderately good anti-infantry force, but that doesn't put him anywhere close to BK's army composition, which now he probably has around 1, 2, 3 Grens. It looks like he did lose a Gren somewhere in the battle, but he has 3 Grens. He has 1 Volks, an MG, 2 packs. So BK has a stronger frontline force. Might be able to hold on to that field. A little bit of banter coming back from BkModTest. Flamers and rifles are going in, but it detonates one of the mines. But I think the pack might be able to get away with it. Rifles were pinned briefly by that MG. And now the rifle squads are going on to the right-hand side. So he rebuilt his rifles. It's now 3 rifles, 2 snipers, and 2 engineers. BK, on the other hand, rebuilt his sniper, so we could see some sniper action happening. The rifle was forced to retreat. It was too deep, and the sniper had been baiting the rifle in for the Grens and Volks to try to cut that rifle off. Meanwhile, the sniper team from Biosparks is doing a little bit of recon in the middle. Side by side. Well, it looks like BK Sniper is headed towards the middle as well. I just hope that he cloaks it in time. He does cloak it. Now we have 2 snipers on either field taking shots from the Volks. Oh, he's trying to get that recon run up. He could be in range. He is revealed. 1 shot misses. He's cloaked again. Now both of them know the other one's there. Sniper tries to shoot, but the snipers get out before the shot connects. But now that the Biosparks snipers are forced off the field, BkModTest could use this opportunity to take some fresh shots at Biosparks infantry coming back in. Rifles are coming in. Snipers should back off. Meanwhile, BK Sniper did do a little backpedal towards the action, and he had to pull it back to prevent it from getting completely wiped. Shrek Grens was forced to pull back. Got Vet 1 on the squads now. Gives them a little bit of passive healing, but that only affects that effect only happens when they're not in combat. Little Gren grenade coming in, but looks like Biosparks rifles managed to dodge it. Central Rifles tries to get some tries to enter the we got a register artillery going and forcing off the rifles, which means that BkModTest once more has the center. Biosparks is now shifting his focus to the top corner of the map. He has the rifles coming down, while at the same time his snipers are taking shots, hoping to demand this Gren squad. So things aren't looking too grim for either side, except for the sniper over there who actually took some great shots over there on that Gren squad. Ooh, looks like we may see another free Gren pop out from BkModTest's bunker. At the same time, this sniper is gonna wander dangerously into or try to recon Biosparks territory. He should be careful about mines in the area. I mean, I know that it doesn't seem like we do see one of the bars. Oh, we got we lost a pioneer squad, but it looks like we see a bar dropped by one of the rifles, and that should be able to give BkModTest some badly needed firepower on his infantry. At the same time, Biosparks BkModTest got a Puma up. We could see the end of this rifle squad. It's retreating on red cover. We drops another bar. That could be another needed firepower to BkModTest's army composition. 2 snipers go off again, decrews the MG, giving time for that bar rifle and engineer squad to flank around and clear this pack. This Puma's going into Biosparks' base, probably to finish off that rifle, but it got stickied, and now it's trapped in the enemy territory. We see Biosparks get a tier 4 if he gets a Sherman or even a M10. Oh, he does? He is getting a Sherman. He could finish off that Puma. Puma's now very low on health. Now we see Biosparks has this rifle man that decrewed MG42, and that's probably going to push any attacks off from BkModTest from that angle. Nothing short of a For the Fatherland is going to allow him to advance. Ooh, but the Sherman's coming in. BkModTest is being a little bit lenient on that Puma and might go down here. Oh no, he's being lax with this attention of here, and there it is. There goes the Puma. We got a second Puma up already, so that didn't matter much to BkModTest. His infantry is now... Let's see, we have 4 rifles, 2 snipers, while from BkModTest we see 4 Grens and 1 Volks. Now we see that 2 of those infantry squads do have bars. So both sides are relatively even in terms of firepower, although this Sherman could upset the balance, and this registered artillery did quite the hammering on that rifle squad. Oh, the sniper gets revealed and gets counter-sniped by one of Biosparks' sniper. This isn't exactly going into BkModTest's favor. He needs to find a way to counter those Shermans, while at the same time find a way to limit the influence of those snipers on the battlefield. This pack is definitely going to get decrewed by that by those double sniper. We could see the end of another Puma, but it looks like he gets out of range. Now the Grens are walking into the sniper and MG fire. And the Sherman's just going to back away with less than half of its health remaining. Got to see the sheer weight of Grens and rifles moving in. Looks like the center rifles is in a dangerous position, getting sandwiched by the Puma and the Grens. He could lose it, but it looks like it's going to get away. And top rifles, it's finally up to Vet 2, but now it's in a rough place. It's been wired off, and now the only way is through the Puma. See a grenade going off, but it looks like it didn't hit the rifles. Rifles are just trying to buy some time, just trying to stave off any more attacks from BkModTest. See another grenade going off. It looks like BK's been lobbing grenades, but it did in fact cause casualties this time. Now it's time for BkModTest to file off, but there's a bombing run coming in. This could be nasty if he doesn't dodge. Oh, he kills the pack and the Puma. Oh no. Things are looking grim for BK now. If he doesn't turn this around, I don't know what will. do see one of the with the MG42 was decrewed by BK, but it looks like he might reman it once more if he chooses to. We have an AT gun moving in, and both snipers are on the field once more. We have the Grens are in dangerous position. He could get finished off by the sniper if he's not too careful. Now he's just sandwiched between the church and his base now. Sniper, on the other hand, is trying to move into position to either counter-snipe or at least weaken Biosparks' force around. Oh no, that Sherman shot detonates the mine behind that Stug and destroys the engine. Meanwhile, the AT gun is trying to finish off the Stug as it's slowly pulling back, while BkModTest sniper is trying to contest the other flank of Biosparks by trying to slowly pick off his men. We have heavy rocket barrage unlocked by BkModTest, but he doesn't have the munitions to use it. Maybe if he can bait his units in, he could use registered artillery to basically rain death on Biosparks. Ooh, the two snipers are inching closer and closer. Biosparks is getting dangerously close to BK's in range of BK sniper. The engine is fully repaired. Two snipers are getting in. He's trying to provide line of sight, but BK is in position. He gets one shot off. One of the sniper goes down. Biosparks is inching back with the sniper. He's not trying to risk it. That MG should be in better position to resist the probe by... He is trying to bait BK into that MG. And BK is getting chewed up. He should back off. Ooh. We have a Vet 3 sniper on the field. I guess he tried to counter-snipe the sniper, but it looks like the Gren squad was closer. We have rocket coming in. The MG is cleared. And now both sides have left the battlefield. But since BK controls the territory in the first place, it's probably in BK's favor. Now that sniper, knowing that there's nothing around to basically counter him, he's just going to cap that VP with just no care in the world, except when he hears that Sherman coming. Oh, that brave motorbike is trying to fight against that Sherman. He's probably gonna get away, but now that Stug is trying to push off that Sherman. Sniper takes a shot, but I don't think it hit anything. Just more pushing from BK's. Has to cancel that bunker. Rifles are probably going to force this Gren off the field. But that Gren still has a shot on the rifles. And now it looks like Biosparks' Vet 3 sniper is going to force these Grens off.
Resource drop is now available.
So now BK has, let's see. Oops. See that BK only has 2 Grens on the field. 2 engineers, a sniper, a bike, and a Stug. While we saw that Biosparks had roughly 4 rifles. He has a sniper, but he rebuilt another sniper, so he has 2 snipers on the field. He has 2 engineers, an AT gun, and a Sherman, and he's floating 800 manpower. Things are looking very bad for BkModTest at this time. This Pioneer could get finished off if he's not careful. We got another recon run coming in. That sniper's going balls to walls, trying to get that counter snipe in. He could get, oh, but he misses it. was probably still reloaded. Oh no, he could lose this sniper over here if he's not careful. Oh no. And this bike goes down due to a moment of hesitation and roadblock from that munitions point over there. I guess he just couldn't decide whether or not to go for it or just run and live another day. But now he decides to run and die.
Sniper reporting. MG here.
So, despite all that, Biosparks wasn't paying attention to the VPs at all, and despite his better field positioning, he's down to less than 50 VPs compared to BkModTest 400 over 400 VPs. So now he has to really hold on to these VPs as much as possible. So even though BkModTest wasn't in the best position for the entire game, he did manage to hold those VPs for as long as he could, and now it's going to work in his advantage as now he has more room to maneuver in order to push off Biosparks' army, and Biosparks is now in a much bigger pressure, and it is now much more pressure to hold on to his VPs, knowing that any sort of push by BkModTest is going to mean closer to defeat for Biosparks in terms of VPs. See, the rifles are going in. He's probably trying to sticky that Stug. Stug is wisely backing off. Sherman is coming in. AT gun. I don't know where the AT gun is. He should move that one in. He gets one sticky off. He's back at his base. He's taking hits at that Sherman. Now it looks like the engineers are probably going to burn this bunker to the ground, but he shouldn't inch too far into right BK's. Ooh, looks like we got another registered artillery, probably to push off those rifles. This bunker's down to 50% health. Meanwhile, the Nebelwerfer is going to work. Down, he reduces one of the rifles to 1. He kills the AT gun, and he drops a bar. Not bad for the loss of repair bunker. If BK is attentive enough, he could recover that bar. Meanwhile, this Puma is going to work on this MG by Biosparks forward HQ. But it looks like it's going to get revealed, but the snipers are going to get revealed by the Grens. Puma's probably going to go in. Should be a little careful there. Oh, this Vet 3 sniper is just running and gunning. One of them is forced to retreat, but it looks... Oh, it gets instantly shredded by that Puma. Ooh, he loses the Gren squad on retreat though. And now that Puma is trying to chase, or rather retreat. And we actually see one of the engineers go down from BK sniper. But Biosparks' remaining sniper is still on the field. And the Puma is forced to retreat back to base. So we have just that one Nebel trying to push off the forward position of Biosparks infantry. Especially, he's probably trying to kill this forward HQ to deny Biosparks the ability to reinforce on the field. 14 kill sniper, not bad, not bad. Got a sniper creeping back onto the field, doing some recon mission. Meanwhile, the Wehrmacht sniper, BK sniper, has to back off from these marauding rifles. Sherman isn't exactly winning this head-to-head engagement from BK's Stug. That bombing run did not do anything. It missed that Puma. But now the Stug is gonna back off into these rifle stickies. Gets 2 stickies off. Don't know if it'll immobilize it. Ooh, it gets a destroyed engine. That's going to be good for Biosparks, especially if he has AT. Do have registered artillery on the field. Ooh, this means that Biosparks may have to retreat into those. But he's going to retreat relatively unscathed by that artillery. Meanwhile, BK's Stug is in dire straits. It's lost the tracks. Its engine is down, but it still has its main gun. But it only has limited traverse. Oh, but he manages to recover the tracks, so it's going to actually rotate. We have 2 Shermans now on the field, probably to try and flank this Stug. Sherman's target the pioneers wisely to try to get the wipe, take greater damage while they're repairing. But now they're having trouble penetrating the Stug's frontal armor. My god, how many deflections! Now the 2 Pumas are gonna roam the battlefield trying to get as much anti-infantry off. Nepals are firing again. It could be back at this forward HQ again. First shot lands on top of the AT gun. Second shot cooks the Vet 3 rifles, but doesn't kill it. This house has seen better days. Maybe after the war they'll rebuild a new one. Or another match. It's like BK is now getting a second Stug out. He's probably seeing the power of the frontal armor of those assault guns. He is trying to remand those infantry on the field. You have the 4 rifles on the field. The pack opens up on the Sherman. He could lose to that Stug. It does get loose to the Stug, but the Stug gets 2 stickies to the face and a shot from the Sherman. Meanwhile, the second Stug is being repaired, while at the same time facing the wrath of that AT gun. Puma gets stickied. He has to back off. Now we have half of BkModTest's armored force in badly needed repairs. Could place down the MG before those rifles blob comes in. The Nebel therefore once again firing at the AT gun. He could decrew it, but he is wisely backpedaling away from the flames instead of retreating the much more safe route. He decides to go around the flame. Oh no, he walks right into the flame at the last moment, killing the entire AT gun. Meanwhile, the Stug is going at it once more. Oh no, the Sherman turns his armor to the front. Is getting some rear shots off. Biosparks is trying to salvage the situation by dropping in an airdropped AT gun. But it looks like it could get flanked by this Puma. The forward HQ goes down, but it looks like the Puma is going to get out of safety, but that Sherman could have a shot at it. But it's not exactly hitting it. Ooh, could get sniped by the that BK sniper could get counter sniped. He has to be careful. Oh, he misses one. Oh my god, that is the luckiest sniper that I've ever seen from BK. That luck script is taking full effect. The sniper is... he misses the counter snipe both times with his sniper, and now it looks like... Oh, he loses. Now it's BK's turn to not have... to not be lucky with his snipers. Oh, but we got the second Puma going in. He could reveal the snipers if they're not careful, but it looks like he's not detecting them. What's going on?
Puma has it. Ready for duty.
Now Biosparks is like going back into his base. This isn't really good for him. He still needs to hold at least one of the VPs long enough. And now that it's back into BK's hand, this isn't exactly a good scenario for Biosparks. He has to control the battlefield more than BkModTest. And now BkModTest has control of the middle. He has a relatively comfortable... He's maintaining relatively comfortable distance to his northern VP. And now he's going around and he's solidifying his hold on the center VP by killing off the AT guns. And who knows, probably neutralizing BkModTest's position. Oh, he builds a Goliath. Oh my god! But Biosparks goes to the Goliath and it nearly wipes a Grand Squad. It kills the Puma. Oh no, what's going on? It looks like BkModTest is getting a little tired of this game. I could see that. It's like we're already about 45 minutes in. It's been a tough game. He's just barely holding on. And now the Puma's getting stickied. He's so close to victory, and yet it looks like his grasp is slowly slipping. We've got a Vet 3 rifles. They know where the snipers are, and he's sandwiching in. He's closing in. The sniper gets revealed. He should pull out, but he doesn't get it in time. Now he's neutralized. The Stug is now has a damaged engine. But we've got an MG covering the VP over here. That just effectively screws Biosparks from capturing that VP without any... He needs to capture the VP by destroying this MG bunker covering it. But that means his low health Sherman has to do the job, and with those two Stugs on the field, all by damaged engine, he can't get anywhere close to getting that that final shot in. We did see that we did get to see those bunch of rifles get crushed by the Stug by just running into them. And now we've got he loses the Stug to the captured pack. The remaining Stug is trying to make a run for it. And meanwhile, this Puma is trying his best to clear that AT gun, but it looks like it's going to get 1-2 boom by those Sherman and AT gun. But more of the the pack than the Sherman. Sherman's been quite the disappointment, unlike his more esteemed cousin. Sniper's still plugging away. The Sherman's still trying to maintain his presence on the field. Trying to prevent that Sherman from going in. He's moving in another Goliath to try to kill this Sherman. It kills the gun on the Sherman. He's very low on health. He's just one shot away. Oh no. But looks like they've both ran out of steam with that attack and defense, and now it looks like the Stug has backed off, and now the Sherman is probably gonna go back into his base to get that badly needed repairs for that broken gun. Oh no, now it's in... We got an MG capping the VP point, covered by the MG bunker. But that's not going to do much for the MG, and he retreats. Pioneers are doing some emergency repairs on the Stug, but that's not enough. They back off. Now the Stug is standing still in the field. You should probably move back as well. But now he gets another sticky off. This could either break the wheels on the Stug. It breaks the engine instead. Now it's down to a standstill. BK's got to get some more units on the field. He's almost there. He's got 30 VPs on the field. Oh no, he gets a VP. He gets a sticky through the hedge. It kills the Stug, and now we've got a second Vet 3 rifles from Biosparks. Oh no. And now we've got an AT gun plugging away at this MG bunker over here. It looks like BkModTest might lose his only means of staying in this game, which is an MG bunker. You don't really get to see that many times. Usually it's to defend peripheral VPs, but we're actually seeing it for the first, well, at least in my first time, defending a central VP. It's just diligently clicking away. Just one more shot, and Biosparks will be able to cap the center VP. Well, at the same time, his Vet 3 rifles decide to go back and capture his the northern VP. But interestingly enough, there hasn't been any breaks in the fence for this entire battle on the north side. That means the rifles have to retreat. But looks like he's going to get a Sherman to break the fence, and he could use it to retreat from the battlefield there. That is some awesome thinking from Biosparks. At the same time, the rifles are moving back onto the field. We got a scary composition right here. We got two Vet 2 rifles with a single Vet 3 rifle squad. With this, without MGs on the field, it looks like Biosparks is probably going to push around BK's infantry unit. But we do have an MG in the middle. We do have a Puma. You should be able to shut this down. But it looks like the rifles did capture the center VP. The drain is still on for BkModTest. He still has time to flip the tide of the battle. Ooh, we do have a bombing run coming in. At the very least, he might lose the MG. Ooh, the MG survives with a single member left, but that Vet 3 rifle might change it. We got Puma staying on the battlefield. You should probably get out of there. Oh, gets the telesticky off. I don't know what kind of damage we'll be seeing. Oh, he immobilizes that Puma. Those Vet 3 stickies are no joke. But in general, Vet 3 rifles are no joke in general. That's why they're Terminator squads. Meanwhile, this Sherman, even though he's Vet 2, is still meat for anti-tank weapon. Oh, but that Gren was meat for that Vet 2 rifle squad. And he loses the Gren squad and the Shreks. This Stug is now in a rough place. A Puma 2 gets a critical shot from the Stug right over here. The Stug is trying to hold its ground. Oh, but he gets a rocket artillery off. He kills the Vet 3 rifle. The Vet 3 sniper. Oh my god. This is some crazy game right here. This Duke is just still sitting by that VP. He's the best defense unit BkModTest has ever known, and they're pretty good in general. They got a pretty good frontal armor. They've got that MG could pin down advancing rifles if they're not careful. And yeah, as long as the front points towards the enemy, this Stug typically has it, unless of course it's an AT gun. Got the Sherman trying to flank the Stug, but it's just barely happening. He is finally beating the rotation, but he's missing. And now the Puma's going in. He probably might go in to stop this chase. Got the Stug is still turning. Puma's gonna finally block it. The Pioneers are repairing it. The Sherman has realized that he's lost, but the second Sherman is coming in. He could lose it if he's not careful. Flamers are coming in, trying to burn the piles, but the piles just cancel the repairs. We got upgun Shermans now. We got another Stu coming in to try to save his brother. Now they're very low on health. A single hit could blow them apart. Got a main gun destroyed. We got a destroyed engine on the Stug. Oh my god, he loses. The Stug win the battle. And now the remaining Sherman has to back off with just 5% left. It's being held together by duct tape. A GI's best friend. My god, this Stug got another rifle flank coming in. Now the Stugs are dealing with it face on, with the Pumas taking some kite shots on it. But he doesn't really care. He doesn't care if he kites it. He's just gonna tank the shots. And that Puma didn't take any critical hits from that sticky. Now we see these two Reddit rifles are getting pinned down. Snipers are plugging away at the shots, but it looks like the Stug is trying to come in. He goes with the course. He gets one of the snipers. Remaining sniper gets off, but it doesn't matter. The Stug has done his job. Now the remaining infantry from Biosparks has to back off with this rifle trying to soft retreat, but it's taking some really devastating fire from those Stugs. We've got 3 Stugs on the field. It looks like BK has found his mainline infantry. Well, it's not really an infantry unit. It's a mainline unit. Forming a Stug wall. It's now up to 3 Stugs. He is perfectly comfortable with the unit's composition he has now. Biosparks should get more AT guns if he wants to kill that. But no, he elects for a bombing run in which that it only well, it actually didn't kill any of his squads. It's just that AT gun manages to kill the Puma. Now we got this duel coming in from the AT gun and the Stug, but this Volks could finish it off. He is reinforcing. It's an airdrop AT gun, but of course he polishes off the AT gun before the second member drops into position, which effectively kills the entire crew. Oh no! Now it looks like it's swinging back into BkModTest's favor. Let's see what Biosparks has left. He still has the vetted rifles, but he lost the Sherman. His AT guns haven't been surviving that well. And we've got another register artillery coming in. Yeah, but look at the VPs. We're now at 19 to 16. Not in favor of Biosparks, but now the VPs are ticking down. He's got to stem the flood. He is trying to get it with his remaining rifles on the field, but it looks like the Nebels are going to try to force him off again. He's got the 2 Stugs coming in, probably trying to push these rifles off the field. He is going in. He gets a sticky off, but that's not going to stop the Stug from going around and flanking this AT gun. The AT gun gets decrewed by the Stug. He was upgrading that building to another forward HQ, but he has to leave in order to prevent it from being finished off by the Stug. Gets a sticky off. Now the that Stuke is trying to polish off this AT gun completely. We have an armored force of a Sherman and a Hellcat coming back onto the field, but now BkModTest has 4 Stukes on the field. He's probably going to turn them around to meet this armored threat head on. The Stickies could only do so much against these Stuks. Oh, he kills one of the Stuks. He could lose the other. BK should have moved his units in to basically kill this armored threat, but I guess he wasn't able to. He was spread apart. And now he lost a Sherman. He could lose this Hellcat. But the Hellcat's going to get around the building. The Stuks are trying to protect this Volks from capping the VP. And now that he's capped, the Stuks are trying to do as much as they can to basically hold off the rifles, or at least inflict so much damage that they have to retreat. We have Register Artillery coming back in again. He does get the decap off. Hellcat's trying to make a push again, but he hits the mine. Destroyed engine. This could be the end for the Hellcat. Rifles are too low on health to make an influence. He has to find out what to do. He does mitigate this by airdropping another AT gun. Oh, but looks like we have a destroyed engine versus a damaged engine Stug. Hellcat goes down, but now the AT gun is plugging away at the Stug. He loses the one of them. He could lose the second one if he's not careful. He should back off a little. He is replenishing his Stug supply. He lost 3 Stugs. Now he rebuilt one. Now he has 2 Stugs. Let's see how much he has. He has 2 Stugs. He's got a Puma building in the armory. But now it's just a contest of who can resist the most amount of VP drain as much as possible. Nebels are plugging away. The Stugs are basically holding the line against these vetted rifles. They're going to take the stickies. And it looks like Biosparks throws in the towel. GG. He wasn't able to get the VPs decapped in time. And especially he doesn't have he wasn't able to get any of his rifles in position. And there it is. That is game between Biosparks and BkModTest. What a stunning game. It's actually over an hour long. So the 2 megabytes was correct in saying that this was going to be an epic game, even though the church didn't go down. Yeah, I know it didn't satisfy the Tommy and Fatal Saint rule, but it's still an epic game nonetheless. So I hope you enjoyed the shoutcast. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you all next time. As always, Eagle 6 out.
Jawohl, mein Herr. Wehrmacht quarters completed. The munitions point is ours. Volks Grenadiers, grab your gear. Yes, camarade. What are your orders? Pioneers here. Do you need any construction? Victory point captured. Okay, location is ours.
What's our plan?
Capture the point here.
Able company has
Listen
the
up.
point.
We're ready!
Listen here.
Engineers get the piss pounded out of us! What is it?
Yeah. Engineers reporting.
Germans are seizing territory from us.
Barracks complete, as ordered. Point taken. It's all army. Engineers here. Engineers ready. Engineers, all good. Engineers
get
ready
the
for the
piss
fight.
pounded out of us!
MG, here!
Yes, sir. We have captured a fuel supply. Yes, sir. We are ready. Yes, comrade. Yes, camarade.
We are losing ground.
We have seized their victory point. No contact here.
Pioneers here. Volksgrenadiers taking fire.
Sniper reporting for combat duty.
He has a victory point.
Cowards attack our forward base. Unit has died a hero.
Okay, location is ours.
Prepare for duty.
We are losing territory.
Grenadiers reporting for
We're losing territory.
Completed.
Attention! The enemy advances!
Sniper ready for the struggle.
All squad in. What do you need? Yeah.
Send the father. Send him over here.
All grenadiers are engaged. Calibrating rangefinders now.
Munitions point captured.
The enemy is seizing our territory.
Front shifting. Krauts are grabbing territory from us.
Rifle squad has the objective. Armor car deployed!
Ready for orders.
Sniper! Minefield, watch your footing! Listen here! What is it?
Enemy fire! Get down!
Minefield
Upgrade is
clean.
complete.
Enemy foe!
Under fire!
Casualties being recorded.
We got an upgrade!
Rifle squad taking fire!
Hey, listen! What the hell here?
Enemy unit down.
We got company! Enemy troops right fucking there!
Target is gone! Damn front block! We're taking some heat!
Sniper! Get to high ground! Get in, Braxton!
Right in the middle of a goddamn firefight!
You're losing the munitions sector.
Yahoo!
We earned our stripes! Capture the point here.
Enemy unit down.
All out!
Our defensive propaganda campaign is now ready.
I get the smoke.
Stand to!
Engineers reporting.
Construction detail, our work is done here.
Repairs complete, sir.
They're firing from our position! Taking heat!
Opposition B is in.
Down!
Troops can now be sticky.
Got crowd activity over here!
Bird Dog is offering to have a look. Germans are seizing territory. Enemy unit.
Target is gone! Clean their damn crowd blocks!
Ready, Grenadiers! Orders? Grenadiers, weapon check!
Seize their bloody munitions location.
The bunker is ready for action.
Grenadiers, hands up!
Thank you for a nice smoked herring.
You tell him, kid.
Grenadiers ready!
All mines laid as ordered.
Grenadiers, fall in!
Prepared for duty.
The enemy has 300 points.
We're losing territory.
Gut, Kinder! Time to get into the ball! Grenadiers! Bitte auf! Grenadiers, taking fire!
We defend the fatherland until death.
done soiling your
Report.
uniform?
Secure that location.
Grenadiers, listen up.
Clear the breach and get ready to load.
Artillery is ready for orders.
Your orders, mein Officer.
Yes, Kamerad.
Veterancy gained.
Grenadiers ready and waiting.
Secure that location.
Fire!
Volksgrenadier squad at full complement.
Veterancy.
What now? Get ready! Join fire!
Defended the fatherland until death.
Listen up, men! Target destroyed!
We had our full complement.
Attention. The enemy advances.
Jawohl, mein Herr.
What now?
Enemy is countering.
MG, here!
Jawohl!
We built it according to plans.
They won't be able to face our firepower.
Our opponent has 200 points.
Ach, mein ears are ringing! Not for long, it ain't.
Attention.
We have heavy resistance!
Advances. Supply lines are broken. We have territory cut off from supply.
Engaging us!
Listen up, men!
Sniper König
Our
here.
forward supply lines are broken.
Grenadier squad at full
The
complement.
enemy is seizing our territory.
Our squad is being shut at! The point is ours. Prepare for counterattack.
Taking fire! Rain, Hoskins! You've been in a
Ready! What do you want? Pay attention! Enemy fire is hitting our position!
Sharpshooter here!
Was jetzt?
Taking fire!
Pack the gate. Ready.
Jawohl! Was jetzt? What now? Germans are seizing territory from us.
Veteran now. Galaxy tank. Sniper ready for battle. Able Company has the point. We're all reinforced. People.
Got crowd activity over here!
Objective secure. Sniper
Enemy unit down.
ready for orders.
They're going after one of our munitions.
Ready to die. Just make it count.
Krauts are grabbing our territory.
Squad taking fire.
Enemy unit down. Base is under attack. Krauts
Engineers
are
here.
counting on a forward
MG
replacement.
here. Let's get in there. Load it.
Got crowd activity over here!
Ready to get this done. We're all
We're down to 100 points. Front shifting. Krauts are grabbing territory from us. We have paratroopers circling the field, asking for drop coordinates.
Crowd troops are coming for us! Taking fire!
Sniper ready for
Crowds are
battle.
firing on us.
Taking fire. Shot.
Observation
One
posts
kill.
report we are losing a sector. Krauts have cut forward supply lines. Enemy unit front lines are collapsing.